Hey, guys. What is up? We are back. Brian Dunnigan here in the Rock Life Studios, April the 8th for episode, what is this, 76 of Out the Top. Once again, back with us from Alexander City, Alabama, Mr. Dan Carter. Get in here, buddy. What's up?
What's happening?
Huh. Just happy to be here for a change. We missed last week, guys. We had I had some stuff going on up here. Um, wasn't able to get the show done last week, so I know we're a little late for I guess what would be the post race from Wildcat, but right on time for the pre race for Arkansas. Um, so last week we put out our first episode of the new show with Nick Rock. That actually wasn't even supposed to come out last week. We went ahead and rushed it and got it out because we weren't available to have this show. So I hope you guys got to check that out. If you haven't, it is on the Facebook page. It's on the YouTube. Me and Nick have been talking. We've got some more stuff coming. That show is not going to have a schedule. It's not going to come out every week. It's going to be when we can get something, when we have time. Listen, we're planning that. We're even going to do it. We've talked about shooting episodes while he's on his way home from races, while he's driving his truck, his 12 or 16 hours. So that's coming. But sad we missed last week. Listen, it fell on April Fool's. I had the perfect prank lined up for the show, and I didn't get to do it. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because then I won't be able to do it next year.
There you go.
Good ideas for me only come around ever so often. So this one's going back in the playbook. And so you guys be ready for next year. It's pretty good. But yeah, busy around the shop, busy at home last couple weeks. Missed you guys. Glad to be back. How is things down in Alabama?
Man, right now we need a boat, as a
Really?
lot of people in the southeast do. We've just been hammered by the rains. But making up for it today, we pulled about a 12, 13 hour work day, and it's not been fun. But ready to get back behind the wheel and get ready to racing.
So you're okay. Let's get this out of the way. You're not going to the Arkansas race, right?
Right, right. I have a big work obligation that I've got a job I've got to finish up this weekend. So unfortunately, we're not going to make it to uh, Arkansas, but hopefully we'll have everything dialed in and can beat a rush in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to make the trip either. With everything that's been going on here, kind of the same deal. And we're really looking forward to Rush coming up for us to attend, and then the back half of the season after Rush. Um, let's see what have we got after Rush, the Oklahoma race. After
Mhm.
that, I'm hitting every race the rest of the year, which for me that's a bunch. Um, but I'm ready. I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to get out there and get some stuff done. Um, but let's get right into, I guess, what would be the Wildcat event. Like I said, guys, I know we're a week late, and hopefully all this hasn't been talked to death. But great race, longest
Oh yeah,
Saturday we have had in years, and usually you can say that on a like a wet, I guess a wet event. Usually you get things get slick. You get a lot of recoveries. It gets hard to recover. Wildcat usually is fairly tame. Um, Fairly quick, especially if it's dry. The event seems to flow really good, but man, we had some wild wrecks in the bouncer class, and even UTVs on Friday, Saturday. It's just like every time you turn around, somebody's on their lid.
right.
So let's go through. What do you think about before we get into everybody else, um, what did you think about the UTV Cup course? Um, there was a little bit of carnage in it.
Hmm.
There was some rollovers and a few things, but not too terrible. What was your take on the course?
Man, the course was pretty relaxed. It wasn't too awful bad. The sad part about it is the step ups on the right hand side is where I know we lost a couple of tires at finals. So I was being reserved, thinking that well, we just want to hold the car together. No major issues. Those it's like three little stair steps. They keep getting worse and worse and worse, man. And we were reserved going up that, and the car stayed together. Kind of kicking myself in the butt for being so reserved because we had the intentions of wanting to be top five over the weekend, and we slid right into sixth place. And I think I was about 6 seconds from being top five. So
Yeah,
I've been kicking myself over that.
man, you were right there, right there. We've yet to get a top five in the new car, have we? We've been. I think you've got every position in the top in the back half of the top 10 locked down.
Right. Yeah. Other than the battle of the bouncers, we
Yes,
pulled off
yes,
a
yes, yes,
podium
yes,
in
yes.
that, but other than that, man, yeah, we've been just right there at it, and that was our goal too, because the cup class I think is going to be one of the most competitive classes, and it's, I mean, some will argue with me, but man, for me, it's the most competitive, and it's just a top toss up. You don't know who's going to win that class. I mean, you know who about the top five are, but you never know who's going to slide into that fifth or fourth place spot, or who even may slide into the podium.
It is, I think, overall a more competitive class, but I think it's because of the size of the field. And
Right.
we'll talk about this here in a little bit. This weekend in Arkansas UTV bounty class, right now there's only 3 entered.
Oh man.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But like the bounty class is kind of that way. You may have 4 people, you may have 15, you never know.
Right.
But you've got right now in that class, you've got your heavy hitters.
Right.
You've got Nathan King, Nathaniel Bell, um, um, I can't think of his name.
Nathan. All them
No,
Nates.
no. Well, yeah, him too. Nathan, yeah, Nathaniel Helton, and then oh God, what's his Casey? Jesus,
Yeah.
Casey
Yeah.
Howe. I mean, those guys have got that series wrapped up at the moment. I threatened Nathaniel Bell. I said, "Man, we need to get. I'm going to get somebody to come down there and just get in that race." Because he said, "Man, it's a guaranteed podium this weekend, only 3." I said, "Oh, we'll send somebody down there to ruin the party." Um, but yeah, so a couple years ago, and I'll eat my own words on this. We were talking about the classes, and we were bounty for a long time and not cup, and I just the cup. I said then that the cup classes were more. It was more racing, but the bounty class was harder, and I still think that is true.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
for
the
sure.
bounty class is overall harder. It's harder on machines. It's harder to get finishes. Um, but now that we've kind of stepped away from that bounty class and into the UTV Unlimited class, I've really been paying attention to it. And seeing the times and how close everybody is. And I just was thinking the other day, like if we were running against the guys we're running against now in the old red buggy on 64-inch suspension, um, 110 fuel, I just think we wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Like
I
I feel like a pretty good setup in that car.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I think we, right now we're shooting for top five. I think with that car and as fast as everybody is, you'd be lucky to be shooting for top 10.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I don't guess I realized it in the moment. But once we got in it and really got to trying to be competitive, you learn real quick.
Right. Well, and also think too, um, how much things have progressed since then.
Yes.
Um, and there were a lot of guys. Me and Aaron Bentley were talking about this the other day. Um, Cooper and I both went big turbo at the same time.
Yes.
We hashed out a weekend where we could get together and swap turbos. And back then there was only like two or three guys that was running big turbos, and then there was maybe one or two here and there that was running E85. And all this is new, and we'd always been opposed to it because every time we go to like Mine Made or somewhere like that, and somebody be like, "Oh man, this is our first weekend on E85," and the next thing you know, they're pushing the car on the trailer because of an engine failure.
Blowed up. Yeah.
Right, and then and then you see somebody like Cash that's really meticulous about his maintenance program at Missouri and just slinging an engine, and it's like, man, is it really worth us taking the gamble just to be a few spots higher on the uh, the the finish line sheet? And I look at how far everything has come nowadays, and like we've just been really religious on changing the oil and doing maintenance and stuff. But like 3 or 4 years ago, I was terrified to be where we are now. As
Yeah.
far as the speed and power.
We talked about that several times, and it just wasn't. Um, of course, that was when hydro was coming along, and it wasn't the norm then.
Right,
But we were already a step behind everybody, and I didn't. Even then, I was like, man, this just doesn't make. Let's throw another tune on it, and let's throw some more horsepower to it. It just didn't make any sense to me because I didn't think we were going to be able to keep up, anyways.
right,
So why risk? We were um, hopefully, hopefully, we were more like junkyard racers.
right.
Not really, but we were junkyard racers to compared to some of the others, and we wanted to try and to hold it together so we could get to the next race. But yeah, it's so different now, and the cup racing is just unbelievable. I mean, all the classes really are. Even listen, the UTV uh, teen amateur class, them two boys at the top of that class, that's going to be a battle to watch all year.
Oh, for sure,
Like
for sure.
them two are, I mean, just right there. And they're a second here and a half a second there, and those two are going to be fun to watch. Um,
I,
so that I
I
mean,
just
it just all the classes.
Yeah, I just hope that both of them are going to be able to finish the whole season. I would hate to know that one of them got the leg up on the other one because one of them didn't make it to a race.
I do too. I see on here somebody commented on YouTube. H&R says not going to make it to Arkansas. Hopefully back at Rush. I'm not sure who this is, but I hope it's none of that crowd. I hate that you guys can't make it. I hate that we can't make it. Speaking of people who can't make it, so I didn't know this, but I guess from what I understand, the Kings are not attending um, this event, and I think there may be another one or two throughout the year that they're having to skip. So when we get into the rundown, we're going to mention Nathan's name, and I don't know, they may end up getting somebody to run for him. You know how
Right,
that works out, but um, that would be hard to be like up in the points this early in the season, and just, of course, if it's predetermined too, if you knew this was an off weekend going in,
right,
then you also drive a little different. You can run a little harder because you're not running for points.
right.
So I don't know. Uh, but yeah, we'll like I said, we'll talk more about Arkansas in a little bit and some of the car count issues and things like that going on down there. But let's get into the rest of the weekend at Wildcat. One thing I wanted to talk about, of course, all the wrecks, and the first one that comes to mind is one of the most minor as far as violence, severity of the physical accident itself. It was just a little flop, but it may be the biggest crash of the season. What happened to Wade Good?
Mm, it's tough.
That has got to be killer. I mean, goes up a hill that he's been up dozens of times, gets to the almost to the flat ground and just flops it straight wheels up.
Right.
Your betting favorite for the championship, DNF, second race. What do you think that does to the bouncer class this year? So right now, that opened it up, and Wade is still in the top five, and I don't know. I'll look in a minute. I don't know how many points he's out. Um, but Cooper Bentley is your points leader now. Nick Rock's second. Brandon Davis, after the year he had last year, is in third. Um, what what do you think that one DNF at this point in the season does for the upcoming races, the rest of the season?
He's really going to have to push it, and then that's where we're going to see how good of a driver he actually is. If he can keep it together to catch at least to the top three, I mean, I've got faith in him. But I mean, you're chasing three fast guys.
Well, the thing is with me, especially with Coop, is race 6, 7, whatever it was last year, maybe even later than that. I don't know. He was your points leader.
Mhm.
He was up on Timmy by 3 points. DNF'd, and that just burnt that boy. I mean, I've
Mhm.
never. I don't know if I've ever seen heartbreak like that. Um, now that he's got a 25-point lead, I know it's too early in the season. He can't relax, but I
Right.
do think it can help maybe minimize some otherwise erratic driving.
Right.
He's got a little buffer, a little wiggle room, um, and he doesn't need that DNF. Because listen, there's going to be DNFs, I think, for everybody.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think nobody goes through this season completely perfect, especially in the bouncer class. They're the only person that I think right now goes through this season who could be perfect, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Is Cody Kaysen in that stock class?
Right.
He could sweep the season realistically. Sweep the season. I mean, that's unreal. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Wade's going to do. I don't know what Cooper's going to do. It's going to be interesting. This next 3 race run that is pretty quick. I think once we get through that, we're going to have a better picture of the big picture because that'll put us, in the next month, we're going to be halfway through the season already.
Right.
So we'll know a whole lot more in about 5 weeks. So
Yeah. I think it's just going to boil down to whoever can keep their cool.
yeah,
I really think so. I think within the next three races, it's whoever's just playing it. Um, cool, keeping their head clear, not driving erratic, like you said. I think it's just somebody that's, uh, whoever can keep it together over the next three races. I think it's going to be on podium next. At the end of the season for sure.
let's talk a little bit about um, okay. I got two little things I want to talk about, and I guess we need to get through one to get to the other. So we had Clayton Smith had a pretty rough wreck in the bouncer class coming downhill. I guess lost brakes. Buggy hit just perfectly wrong. Um, hit the cage, did kind of bent down a little bit, hit him in the head. Got some injuries. Looks like, I mean, everything. Good Lord willing, looks like everything's going to be okay with him. But they did have to cart him out of there. Took a little helicopter ride. Um, and then, outside of that, we also had another buggy that caught on fire. Um, that one was extinguished, and they were able to run the next run. I got it all put back together. Um, but I noticed up on the hill after those things happened, two things that I really got to looking at, and it's the things you notice after things like that, because you're looking for them, but you're not looking for them.
Right.
You know, you notice them, but you don't pay attention to them. If that makes sense. So the first thing is like fire suppression. Um, I know that's supposed to be in all the bouncers, recommended for all the UTVs. I think that is something that needs to be. I know making it mandatory in the UTVs is rough, but we need to have a little better safety checks, I feel like. And not that, I mean, that buggy had it. It was
Right.
there, and they put it out with the fire extinguisher on board, so like there was nothing wrong with that machine. But I got to looking and noticing some things throughout the day, and there's some buggies that's got this and some that don't have that, and we just send them on their way. Um, and so I wish we could do a little. I know it is. They like to say it's the driver's jobs to keep the other drivers safe and to keep yourself safe, and it is.
Yeah.
But at some point, you know, I think some of that safety stuff needs to be examined a little closer.
Yeah.
It
We test the RI boxes from time to time. It wouldn't hurt to uh, go ahead and just do some like a quick little tech.
Well, the shut off boxes, and somebody smarter than me tell me why we can't do this. You go to Monster Jam, they've got them dudes in there. They pull up to the starting line, they shut them off. Like they test them right then.
Mhm.
What's the reasoning behind us not doing that? You know, I know a lot of times we talk about having random tests here and there and things like that. Why can't we just shut them off? Then we
Right.
know it works. Then we know it works. Um, but the bigger thing that I wanted to talk about, I do think people are doing better with the fire stuff, with the fire extinguishers and whatnot. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is no knock on anybody personally, um, but this is the second driver this season, one in a different series, one in our series, that took a pretty good ding to the head. And I'm going to say not because the machine failed. And I mean, the machine, the bar failed in this situation, got him. But I don't think that's the reason that he got hit in the head. Same with the other one in the other series. I don't think it was anything to do with a failure on the machine. I think it is a failure for people to fit themselves in machines.
Mm.
You get, and I get it, if you're not building it to you and you're getting something secondhand, if you physically fit, then you physically fit. But guys, we've really got to start paying attention to how close these damn roll bars are to our heads.
Right.
Um, some of you guys do not fit in your buggies. You don't. I know it's cool to look cool in your low rider chop top bullshit, but I mean, come on. So we built. Um, Braden's that new razor for Braden, and it's probably a couple inches too tall. But we built it to fit him, and so he would have headroom. And so if something failed, if he took a hard roll, there's room for it to bend
Right.
and still be out of his head. And I'm not saying everybody needs to go that extreme, but general rule: a helmet and a fist above your helmet, and that's to your low point. That's to the bottom of the bar. That's not a helmet and a fist to the aluminum panel above your head. That's to the inch and 3/4, 2-inch bar to the bottom of it. And guys, these big bouncers weigh going on 5,000 pounds, and you've got less than an inch between your head and the ceiling. Um, and y'all do some crazy shit, like crazy, like lunatic stuff. Really, that's what built this sport, is you all doing lunatic stuff, crazy stuff. But we're starting to see what happens when you push the envelope and these buggies start bending up and twisting up, and people are going to start getting these head injuries. And that's a motorsports. It started in football, and then you noticed it more and more in roundy round racing, and I'm afraid we're going to start noticing it in this, because out of all that, ours is already violent.
Right.
It's 1,000 wonders you guys don't get concussions um, just making a good lap, let alone when a 4,500-pound machine rolls over on a rock and you hit your head on the ground or the roll bar or what have you. So we really need to start thinking about these machines, guys. Go home, look at your stuff. It's really not that hard. Any of you guys that have a rock bouncer, you're probably welders already. You're probably fab guys already. Every one of you can have a new roof put on your buggy in one Saturday. It's not a big deal. Make sure you fit inside your machine before somebody gets seriously hurt. And there's a bunch of you who need to listen to this. I went through videos after videos after videos, and it's just wild to think about it. Not to get on a rant there, but you don't got to be cool. You ain't got to look cool. Make sure you fit in your machine. And so there also was, okay, so Clayton had his wreck. Dan had to leave, Dan Bowman. And there was some talk during the event, after the event, about what to do with Dan's run and Dan's points. We've talked about this, and you can give your opinion or not. You're a driver. I don't know how close you are to the situation, if you know these guys or not. There was some talk about what to do about his points. DC had volunteered, I guess, to run for him. The problem with that is he had already ran. He had already established himself as a driver in the event. So I don't know why we were even having this conversation. In a race, if you don't start the race, regardless of the reason, and I get it, we're all family. We all need to support each other. But it's still, people are spending thousands of dollars to drive to these events. Some people are
Right.
coming to try and win at all costs. Like weekend, grill out, drink a beer, hang out after the event. I'll help you work on your buggy. You can come help me. We can all be friends. But we all still have a job to do. And we all still have a focus, on our personal race program. So I don't know why we had that conversation. I would love to hand out free points. Would love to. That shouldn't have been a conversation, I don't think. In the end, Dan even said himself, like, no, we don't need to be doing that. I wasn't there. I didn't run. No points for me. And I think that is the correct way to handle that. I really don't think there's any other way to handle that. I hate that we have some of these conversations sometimes about what to do.
Right.
What we need to do is read our own rules. It's not that hard. It is what it is.
Well, I mean, and we're all nice guys. We want to help each other out. And I'm like you, like I don't see a problem with it until there is a problem with it. But
And
there's
that's the
not going to be
problem.
a problem with it until the end of the season.
Yeah.
And there's money at stake. And I don't know. He just pays top three, right? So I mean, if it was like,
Top 5, I think.
so I mean, what if it's one of those deals, the top five, and it's like somebody skirts in there by 2 points? Then it's a problem. So, I'm with you. Like it's one of those things. Like it's like you almost want to kind of keep up with it both hands, on both sides for the rest of the season to see how it kind of irons out. That way, we know in the future, hey, this works, hey, this doesn't work, because the sport's evolving. But I don't want to be one of those guys that's like rules are rules, but rules are rules.
They are, and I don't want to be that guy either, but it saves, like you said, it's not a problem until it is a problem, and it's a problem at the end of the season. And then that's when we have people 10 minutes after the banquet that were too pussy to say anything throughout the season. 10 minutes after the banquet, they're up there going, well, uh, I don't know why you got them points back at Wildcat.
Mhm.
And so if we do what we say we're going to do and what we've done in the past, I mean, uh, I've brought this up on here just back, several years ago when the Clayton Hollinsworth injury deal happened and Gilbert was going to come run. They wouldn't let him.
Right.
Um, and I understand that was 6-7 years ago now at this point, but still, it's exactly the same thing.
Well, and I mean, we lost two pretty big icons in the sport over that.
Guess who's in here? Levi Carter. He's my hero.
Man,
But yeah,
what are you doing?
Levi's. I've not talked to him much lately. He hit me up
Yeah, you've
today.
been
I
hiding,
I,
man.
I couldn't help him.
Man,
Um,
I've been thinking a lot about those guys, man. This dude trying to run Indian Mountain in the dirt is coming back up again. Man, I hate all those guys are going through all that stuff right now.
yeah, we need to get some people back on here to talk about that again here soon. Um, but yeah, like I said, I hate to be that guy, but rules is rules, and it just saves so much headache later on down the road. Um, and that goes with, I've said on here a couple times that I feel like the biggest thing that holds the series, and not just the series, the racing in general, what holds it back from taking the leap forward into a more professional realm, I guess, is a l- we're partially still in the good old boy system, and but we're trying to be a big time motorsport, and you can't be a big time motorsport and be on the good old boy system. Like
It's like
it's
late
just,
'80s NASCAR.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like we're right there. We need that little shove, and we just can't get it. Uh, but nonetheless, I'm not fussing. I just yeah, I am too. Um, I just don't think we need to have those conversations. Like, I don't know. Anything else from the weekend? my biggest thing was just guys have got to, and it's the same with you blooming idiots that run your razors in the woods, where your head's literally in your aluminum roof and your doors are this tall. And I know that if it turns over, you're going to die. It's the same thing. You all are idiots too. Um, but especially these guys running these big ass machines. We got to get people to look at that and realize, and that may be it. I think they think if they fit, they fit, which might be true in, say, a midget roundy round car, or something that is lightweight. Um, but these machines are too big to be crammed in there that time.
I'm pretty sure Cole Payne started that whole
He did.
fad.
Damn, damn him. Um. So anyway, there's enough about that. You got anything else from the weekend? Any takeaways you want to talk about?
Man, other than like, I'm proud of the fans of the sport for coming out and hanging out. I don't think I've personally ever seen Wildcat that packed, and it was cool to see.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of worried after finals. So what we need everybody to do is we got finals coming back there in October. We cannot have a repeat of last October. We have to pack that place out again. Um, so whatever it takes, guys, we need that crowd, that same energy. We need everybody back for all 3 days in October. So get that on your schedule right now. We look forward to seeing everybody back there in the fall. So let's give our awards for the Wildcat event. We got our out the top award, we got our on the hook, and a new one that we're going to start doing. I know we don't talk a lot about the youth drivers and our we even omit them a lot of times from the rundown. So we're going to start doing the youth driver of the week. We're going to take um, one youth driver. Either it could be your winner, it could be last place, it could be anybody. But we're just going to mention them real quick in this segment from now on. So for me, my out the top nominee for the week, Cooper Bentley. I
Well
mean,
deserved.
smoke the bouncer class, smoke the UTV Cup class. Just had the perfect weekend. You got anybody else?
Man, I tell you, like, it's hard to beat Coop, but I
He's
do
good.
tell you, oh, Matt Holt was given a run for her money on round one.
He
I tell you, I never knew he had so much drive and determination. But
he
definitely,
he gave it the old college try.
oh yeah, yeah. But no, Coop, good job.
And I usually try and reserve that for somebody maybe who you weren't expecting to do really good. Um and they come out and show out, but he just showed out.
That's right.
So Coops are out the top winner. On the hook, it could have went to 15 other different people, but Clayton Smith. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was
just
epic.
well, not even that. I mean, rolled it and broke a shock on the first run, and then come out and was driving the wheels off of it again. Had the brake failure. So he is our on the hook award winner from this week, and our youth driver of the week. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and give this to Ramsey Trainer. I don't get to watch the youth a lot. That's usually, and just being honest, that's usually my break period. Uh, but I hung out and watched him a little bit. That dude's a wheel man.
Oh, well, hey, he's a cool kid. He's pretty cool.
He is a wheel man. So Ramsey is our UTV youth driver of the week. All right, let's talk just a little bit about Arkansas, and then we'll get into another new segment, and then we'll get into the rundown and get out of everybody's way tonight. Um, Arkansas this weekend, Hot Springs coming up. You showed up down there a couple years ago, won the race, and then you just walked off into the sunset.
Well, that was my goal. Like I think I'm just anytime I get first place somewhere, I'm just
Not
checking it
going
off.
back?
So not doing Texas again, not doing Arkansas again. I've debated on just hanging it up with Hawk Pride, but like that's a backyard. So I mean, I got to go to Hawk Pride.
You gotta go to Hawk Pride. Um, but I kinda wanna go back. So I had a not so great experience down there, when I went. Nothing against the park, it was just really cold, and we didn't sell anything.
Right.
But since then, they've moved the event, to a different race hill. It looks like the racing is in a better spot, more enjoyable, but for whatever reason, car count struggles down there. Now our bouncer class has got 20 entries, which probably means we'll have 16 to 17. Um, UTV bounty class, like we mentioned, only 3 on the entry list at the moment. And I think we've got Casey, Hal, Nathaniel Bell, and then Austin Tidwell is our bounty class. And Austin has not been at the first 2 races, so I don't know if he's attending this one or not.
Mhm.
So a possible, there's 3 signed up, possibly only going to be 2 running. UTV stock and UTV unlimited was kind of meh, not great. So what drives that? Is it distance?
I feel like it is like that park is we're Central Alabama. I'm gonna say it's about an 8.5 hour drive for us. So some of you Kentucky guys, it's probably 8 to 10 hours easy.
Yeah, it was about 8.5 for us when we went. Which is not horrible. Like I know Braden's not going. He didn't get. We had some issues with his buggy come up and didn't get it fixed. Um, but I don't like. I've not really talked to anybody, so I didn't know if there was a reason. If it's the race course, if it's a park issue, or if it's just the distance. Because I mean, that sucks. After the first 2 races of the year that we had,
Right.
to go down there and run into that kind of car count issue. Hopefully it's an anomaly. Hopefully everybody's just getting geared up for the rush event in a couple weeks. Um what's your predictions, bouncer class? Do you think Wade comes and gets back on top?
Man, I feel like he will be on the podium this weekend, but I'm not for sure that it'll be where everybody expects him to be.
I People are going to call me a homer on this deal just because of the new show, but I would venture to say you better watch out for Nick Rock and the rest of the season. I think he has um I think he's got a chip, on his shoulder, and I think he's coming out to prove that he can win. The only thing is the 2 race stretch that's right after this one might people reserved, depending on where they go in order. If you see, I guess let's just say if he's running last and he sees everybody and they're all having so runs, um, he might be able to dial it back a little bit and try and save the car. But then again, I just don't think that that's him. I think it's just go. But I think Nick could win. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same old song and dance. I think any of them can win.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna hold me to the flame, I'm thinking Nick Cooper, Daniel Heckley.
I want to see Daniel Eckley get a championship. I want to see him win so bad. Like he is always right there, and it's like I think when I'm like, this is Daniel's weekend to really come in here and get in the mix and shake it up. Something happens,
Mm.
something silly. Um, I don't know. I look forward. I'll be watching on Rock Racing TV. That race this weekend, guys, starts at 1 o'clock on Friday, and that's going to be Central Time. And then 9:30, 9:45 on Saturday. So if you can get on there, Rock Racing TV on Facebook and YouTube and check that out. Um, we, man, I'm just ready to get back to the racetrack. I hate
For
that we're not
sure.
going to be there this weekend. Okay. So now this is something me and Dan have talked about doing. And the end goal is to try and find these people and get these people and maybe get a little clip from them, uh, um, a little interview or something. But for now, we're just going to run with this. So what we're going to start doing is about once a month or so, we're going to go back through the archives of the National Rock Racing Association. I'm going to pick an event and a series and a finishing place, and we're going to pull the driver up. We're going to talk a little bit about that event. We're going to talk a little bit about that season and if we have any history on them and like where are they now kind of deal. So this month's random driver of the week in 2019 finished 15th at the Central Rock Racing event number 3, which I'm going to guess it didn't have the event location. I'm going to say that was probably a Missouri race. Finished 20th in the bouncer class that season, missing 2 events. Former UTV driver. You can see this cat usually on most weekends hanging out with the Bullzilla crew in an old school, original RCV recovery t-shirt. He wears the same shirt every week. It's nostalgia, I think.
Okay.
Um,
Do we say who it is, or do we
oh,
let everybody guess?
oh, oh, dude.
Because I think right now nobody's clueless, but we could give a hint for the buggy name, and then a few people are going to jump all over that because they'll know.
If we've got anybody in the chat, first person to give me this driver's name, what we're going to do is we'll send you an out in the top media, um, one of our new Richardson ball caps. So let's see who's the first one to get this. And there is one of you out there, and you know who you are. I've done told who this is, so you're not eligible. So get that out of your head. So yeah, 2019 CRRS race number 3. Finished 15th bouncer class, 20th place that year, driving the buggy S class. So let's whoever can give us that name. If you're in here in the live chat, we'll get you a hat sent your way. And while we wait on that, we'll get right into the rundown for the race number 2, Wildcat Off Road in East Bernstadt, Kentucky. You want to start? You want me to start?
Um, it doesn't matter. I'll go first.
All right, you see how the notes are there, bud?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I think I got it. So we're doing the UTV teen / amateur class. First place, we had Brantley Havens, which has 206 points. Second place, Jace Worthington, 192 points. And third place, Sadie Ellison, with 176 points.
UTV stock class. Your winner for the weekend was Cody Kaysen. Second place, Brandon Davis. Third place, Robert Trainer. That is your points standing for that series as well for the season. Cody's got 206, Brandon 185, and Robert Trainer 171. What about UTV Bounty?
UTV Bounty, we had Nathaniel Helton coming in first place with 174 points. Nathaniel Bell, second place, 168 points. In third place, Nathan King running for Alson Tidwell, 153 points.
And that is also their the way they finished that event is their season standings as well. UTV Cup. Cooper Bentley was your winner, Nathan King in second, and Clay Kaysen with the rare slip up in third place. Cooper is your points leader with 192 points. Clay Kaysen in second with 190, and Nathan King in third for 175. Side note, just what I said. Nathan is not going to be at Arkansas, best I understand. So I think Dylan Dowler is sitting in fourth place, primed to jump up um, and take that third place spot.
Right. Next, we got the limited bouncer. First place, we got Dustin Carter. Second, Chad Daughtry. Third, Justin Hoback. Dustin Carter's got it 206 points. Justin Hoback's second place with 185 points. And Chad Daughtry with 96 points.
All right, your bouncer class. Cooper Bentley was your winner for the weekend. Nick Rock in second. Clint Garrison third place. Cooper Bentley is your points leader with 196 after two races. Nick Rock in second with 171. Brandon Davis in third with 167. Guys, it's going to be a wild season. We look forward to the remainder of the year. Just an update here. Kenneth Cozine says it was the S-Class buggy. We know that, Kenneth. That's what we said. We need the driver's name of who it is. Nathaniel Bell made a little comment on there, gave you guys some a pretty good hint, but Nathaniel already knows the answer, so he's not going to win this. So somebody come in there before we get off here and give us that driver's name, and we will shoot
First and last name, no nicknames.
First and last name, and we'll shoot you an out the top hat. What else, man? We've got to kill a few minutes while we wait and see if anybody's gonna.
And they better hurry up. It's been a long day.
It has. We're in the middle of, I guess, 2 engine replacements at the shop, and several other things going on, and then trying to stay caught up so we can travel to these next couple of events after Arkansas. I've got Nathaniel and Braden blowing my phone up right now. No, they're not winning. You guys are not winning. They're cheating. They're cheating behind the scenes. But yeah, we're struggling trying to stay ahead. Got a big ride coming up this weekend. I'm excited about that. Oh, we've got somebody come in here finally. Y'all are killing me. Church says Jason Sparks. That is who drives that S-Class buggy. So stay tuned. We're going to start doing that more often. We're going to give that, and we may have to open the show with it if it's going to take you guys this long to guess. Got to be Jason Sparks, I think. I think that's Don Curtis, maybe. Yeah, Jason Sparks is the driver of that. Jason actually is not from our hometown. He's from the next town up. Remember watching him run UTVs back in the day, and then I think he acquired S-Class if I'm not mistaken. I think he got it from Clyde, and gave some pretty good beat downs on that deal. We tried to find a way to get it out of retirement this year, but it just didn't happen. Let's see. You want to do that once a month, or should we start doing that every show?
Man, I think once a month.
All right, once a month. So after the Rush event, we'll pick us another one and see what we can come up with. All right, guys, we're gonna go. It's been a long week, long day. Appreciate everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Always a good time. Hate we missed you last week. We will be back. Good Lord willing. We'll be back next week. And be on the lookout for more episodes of the new show with Nick Rock. We've got a lot of cool things in the works for that. We're going to do a lot of updates about next season, next runs. We're going to do some bouncer-related stuff. And Nick's already been working on some other things that are going to be a little different. Stuff we've not done, stuff we've not talked about, stuff you've not seen on the channel. So keep your eyes open for that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're over on YouTube. Guys, we really appreciate you. And thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you.
Later.
Bye. I got the